Digital games. Open.
How's it going, YouTube? This is Zeke from Digimon Plays, and today we have a Hunters vs. Hunters match from our Store Championship. So we'll see Gumdramon Digivolved and a Uemano played down to pass turn. Monimon's hatched, Digivolved into Gumdramon as well. And then Watchmaker is played out, revealing the top three, able to grab both a Dracmon and a Uemano. Then we're going to see Taiki Kudo played down to pass the turnover. So Gumdramon is promoted, swings into security, and then on deletion draw one, and then save under the U. And then a Clockmon is played. So revealing top three, grabbing both a Tuarmon and a Psychmon. Promoting the Gumdramon, and then start of main takes into effect now, so debating on what to tuck under the Taiki. Tucks a Dracmon and draws a card. Digivolves the Gumdramon into a Damemon. And then he will reveal the top three, reducing the cost by one for the Taiki, and end up playing a Taiki off of the revealed cards. Then he ends up swinging in with the Damemon. And it crashes, so he gets to save and then tuck one from underneath. He's also utilizing the on deletion draw from the egg. And then he tucks the Aresidramon. And then we see Uemano played down to pass turn. Monimon is hatched. Now he has to decide what to tuck. You'll notice a lot of these matches, he tucks the Dracmon right there, but a lot of these matches, most of the time spent is in the very beginning of main phase. So he Digivolves into Psychmon in the back. And then hard plays Damemon with the Digicross. And he's able to grab a Taiki Kudo as well. So Digicross will subtract 2 from the play cost, so it's essentially only 3. Swings in with a Clockmon. And hits a Clockmon, so trades and saves under the Taiki. And then just plays another Uemano to pass the turn. So Monimon is hatched, and yet again, this is where you're going to see the majority of the turns happen because he has to figure out what to tuck under all 3 cards. The Uemano will gain memory, and the Taikis, by tucking here, we see that he draws 1 card. But one thing for the Hunter's deck, hand management is everything. So still deciding. These games are going to go back and forth, and as I mentioned, pretty much the start of main phase is where the majority of the turn is going to happen. So here he tucks under the second Taiki, drawing another card. And then tucks Aresidramon under the U to gain 1 memory. Another thing of note, Uemano actually has misprinted text, so at the start of main phase, when you tuck, you actually gain 1 memory. I have the corrected text on screen, but if you actually hold the physical cards, it will say something else. He's going to Digicross in a Psychmon, returning a card from his trash, so he's able to Digivolve a Psychmon in the back as well. Digivolve into a Aresidramon, reducing the Digivolution cost because of the 2 tamers. He has to tuck 1 source from each one under. Deciding which ones he wants to tuck. It doesn't have to be from underneath the tamer you suspend either. So if one tamer has 3 cards and you have 3 tamers out, you can suspend all 3 to each pull 1 card from underneath. You're going to see the Watchmaker suspended, giving it security attack +1. Digivolving into the Digimon superior mode. Able to reduce the cost again for the Taiki. To tuck underneath. This will tuck the opponent's Digimon underneath another Digimon or a Tamer. And because it has 4 or more sources at end of turn, it can attack without suspending. So the Psychmon is promoted. And now to the start of main phase, which I think I'm just going to start referring to as hand assessment phase. Or hand management, rather. So instead of the 2 Taikis in the U, he has 2 U's and a Taiki. So by tucking 1 under all 3, he would be able to gain 2 memory and draw 1 card. He's going to tuck under the Uamano first, gaining 1 memory, and then tucking under the Taiki to draw a card. And then forgoing the third U, or the second U rather. So he's going to suspend both of these. And this is where the misplay happened. He forgot to actually suspend down this Uamano. So we're going to see him use it again. He did remove the source. It wouldn't have actually made a change in the long run, but just notice your opponent's board state and how many Tamers they had out, because he did a reduction by 2, and then he's going to do a reduction by 2 here in a second as well. Between the Hunters decks and the Crossheart decks, the board state gets a little bit hectic, so you'll see Tamers and Digimon spammed out all over the place. I think Hunters is actually managing a little bit better than Cross did, because Cross you would have 3 or 4 Digimon out and 7 Tamers all at the same time with several cards stacked underneath them. These, it's usually 4, sometimes 5 or 6 Tamers, but usually only 1 Digimon out on the field at any time. So this is where we're going to see him Digivolve into the superior mode. And technically there should only be 1 U that's able to activate, but he does activate both of them, reducing the cost. And he does have 1 more memory, so as I said, this wouldn't have passed the turn. And he's going to use his superior mode to tuck the opposing superior mode underneath the Watchmaker. And then he's going to play his own Watchmaker to pass turn, revealing top 3. And with this, he's able to grab the Clockmon and the Uamano. And the left player should be at 3 memory instead of 2. But we are going to get the end of turn attack from the superior mode, drawing for all of the inheritables, and then dealing just 1 check. Passing the opponent over. He only needs 3 memory to actually make this play, and with the U, he's able to do it, which is why I'm actually leaving this recording in. It was a misplay, but it happens from time to time. So, into the hand management phase. You see him laying down cards, which he's definitely not wanting to tuck under, or maybe those were potentials to tuck under. Oh, it looks like those are all Tamers. So he's going to tuck under the Taiki initially to draw a card. He still has 1 more additional card draw and a memory gain. We see a Quartzmon in hand too. Quartzmon is definitely the scariest card. That in superior mode is the scariest cards for me to deal with against this deck. We see him tucking the Quartzmon underneath the second Taiki here, so drawing an additional card. And then tucking underneath the Uamano to gain 1 memory, placing him at 3 now. He's going to suspend both of the Taikis, Digivolving into the Shoutmon King version, tucking 2 sources, and this allows him to play out a Tamer. a specific tamer, but he's going to play out the Taigiru, which is one of the 3 that he can play out. I believe it's Taiki, U, or Taigiru that he can play out. He's going to suspend the U and the Taigiru in order to reduce the cost of superior mode by 2. Suspending Watchmaker to give it +1 security. And he does tuck underneath because of the superior mode's ability. So he'll swing, deal 2 checks, and then end of turn he'll be able to clear out for game. So we'll move on into game 2 now. Starting off with Monimon, digivolving into Gumdramon, and then playing Taiki Kudo to pass. Hatching Monimon on the right side, digivolving into Psychmon. Both of these being mandatory 4-ofs in the deck. They both have on play. Psychmon is you can return a card with save from under one of your tamers to your hand. And then the Gumdramon is you can place one card with save from your hand underneath one of your tamers. So each of them have pretty much the opposite effects here. So we're going to see him just hard play the Shoutmon King version. And that will allow him to on play the Tageru. So Taiki start a main phase after the promotion. He'll digivolve into the Arresterdramon, reducing the cost by 1. It's only a 1 cost digivolution. Swinging in, drawing for the Gumdramon. Hitting into a Damemon and living. And then looks like we're going to digivolve into an earlier superior mode. And he will get the end of turn attack, smacking into Taiki Kudo there. Which will begin the... Well, he still has to promote first, and then the hand management phase. Tucking Clockmon underneath the Taiki to draw 1. And both of these rookies also have the inheritable of when attacking, once per turn you can draw 1. As long as the card has save, which this whole deck is just designed around that. So that's why you see them drawing so many cards on attack. So he's going to digivolve into the Damemon, reducing the cost by 1, or actually by 2, by utilizing both tamers, revealing top 3, and whiffing. So it allows you to play one of the 3 before mentioned tamers out of the revealed cards, whereas the Shoutmon King version allows you to play it from your hand. I still say the hardest point about playing this deck, any version of the Hunter's decks really, is all about hand management. So knowing exactly when to lay things down, when to tuck things under, when to even digivolve to add sources in. It definitely plays a little bit differently than most decks. So he's going to swing in with the Damemon. And it does have jamming from the Clockmon. We're going to see him digivolve into the Omni Shoutmon, and this will cause the deletion of the superior mode, and he will draw 1. That's from the Monimon inheritable. And the Omni Shout is only a 3 cost digivolve instead of a 4 cost, so able to still maintain turn. And it looks like he's going to digicross in the Gumdramon. Monimon is hatched. And then the hand management phase begins. He was able to slot that Clockmon under the Tageru because of the Gumdramon's on play ability as he digicrossed it in. Debating here on what to tuck under the Taiki. tucks the Digimon there. I think that was Damemon. Looks like he's hurting on Tamers. Digivolves the Psychmon in the back. We're gonna see him hard play the Shoutmon to play out the Tagaru for free. And then Monimon is hatched. So start of main, tucking underneath the Taiki. He's going to swing in. He's going to delete the Shoutmon King version, so it saves, and it gets to save one from trash. Or tuck one from trash, rather. He's going to tuck a superior mode. First check is Watchmaker. Allows him to reveal the top three, grabbing Gumdramon and Uemano. Second check is another Watchmaker, revealing top three. This time grabbing the Taigiru and the Gumdramon. And just like that, the board state has completely swung in the opposite favor. It's always scary to swing in against this deck and cross, because the second they're able to get their Tamers out, if you can't just kill them in one turn, it's really, really scary. So we went from having 2 Tamers and 1 Digimon to 4 Tamers out now. And 1 back there in raising. He's going to Digivolve into the Shoutmon King version, reducing by 2 to play out the Uemano. He's going to Digivolve Psychmon in the back. He's going to swing in with the King version, draw 2 cards there, and he hits into a Taiki Kudo. So he saw he was hurting on Tamers in his hand, and it's because they were all in his security. Sometimes it's like that. You never know what's going to be in your opponent's security. Staring down that wall of humans on the other side. Unfortunately, all of which he caused himself. And looks like we're going to see the Psychmon Digi-crossed out, and then a Taiki played to pass the turnover. So we're going to see the promotion of the Psychmon there. Hand management phase. He's going to tuck one under via the Taiki. And then debate on which card to place underneath the other Taiki as well. But now, depending on how things turn out, he does have 2 Watchmakers, and he has the Tamers in order to give his Digimon, whichever one he likes, security attack +1 twice. So that'll be automatically 3 checks. He does have the Clockmon under the Taiki now, so he can give whatever he needs jamming. Beautiful thing about the mirror match for this deck is most decks aren't playing anything, most Hunters lists aren't playing anything that would delete you other than by battle. So if he can get jamming, you swing in pretty safely, because you're either going to hit a Tamer or a Digimon. We see him tuck under the other Taiki now. Drawing that card there. And now he's going to begin suspending his tamers, ready to digivolve up here into the Shoutmon King version. Tucking underneath 2 Digimon there. And then able to play out the Uemano. Going to give it security attack +2, swinging in with the King version, popping the Psychmon for the inheritable. So dealing the 3 checks here, all 3 rookies. Just going to Digicross the Psychmon in, returning the Superior Mode, and then for 1 reduced memory, Arestrodemon has Rush, and he could swing for game, but just because he returned the Superior Mode, he could have done that, or Quartzmon. So here's the right player's deck list, and then the winning left player's deck list. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the digital plane, playing the Digimon card game.